Hello and welcome to the Tai Chi Warm Up instructional video. I would encourage you to do this warm up or a warm up of your choice at the beginning of each practice session whenever you're doing any Tai Chi. This warm up is going to be broken down into 4 parts. The very first part, we're simply going to be doing what I call Tai Chi tapping. So taking your fingertips, we're just going to be doing some nice, gentle, light tapping starting at the very top center or crown of your head. And then we're going to slowly start expanding that tapping to go through the rest of our scalp. Using this opportunity for this tapping to just sort of bring that blood flow into the various parts of the body. Keep expanding that tapping to the sides and the back of your head. What we're also doing here is using this opportunity to build some more body awareness. And what this tapping is doing is saying, okay, body, time to wake up. Feel that blood flowing. I feel these fingers tapping onto different muscles and bones across my skin. Keep going through your cheekbones, under your eyes, and down through your jawbone. If your jaw muscles are feeling a little bit tense, this is a great time to just give a nice gentle yawn. Oh. Going into the back of the neck. The other thing this tapping is accomplishing is, if you've ever done acupuncture before, your body has about 12 main meridians or 14 meridians and hundreds of all these acupuncture points. So what we're doing is kind of doing like gentle needles and getting all those different acupuncture points across your body kind of awakened and alivened, just to help get your what's called the chi flowing. Okay, now going into either open palms or very loose fists. We're going to go into those shoulders right here. Look on one side first. And then I'm going to bring this hitting or tapping down the back side of my arm. You can experiment here with how hard or soft or how loud you want to be with these taps. Make sure you get all the way down through the fingertips and then back up. And then go through the underside of that arm here. And then we'll go to the other side. Just get that meat in the elbow. And down one arm. And then go back up and down the back side of the arm, all the way down through the palms and the fingertips. Also experiment with the speed and the tempo. Just kind of do whatever feels right for you. Shake out those arms now. Going into the chest here, I like to use loose fists, but again, it's really your choice. If you want to use fists or open hands. Get those pectorals and work your way down the breastbone into the ribs. Make sure you get the sides of the ribs as best you can. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And then down into that abdomen. Spending a little bit more time in that lower abdomen. This is where we hold our breath. This is where we hold all of the power from our chi, or that life force energy in Tai Chi. Going on to the back side now, we're first going to reach around as far back as we can and get in between those shoulder blades. Switching to the other hand. And then reaching back behind you as far as you can, getting on either side of that spine. keep going all the way down through the lower back here. And then into those glute muscles. Ooh. I'm gonna switch around to go onto the front side, back onto those hips and the pelvis. Spend a little extra time with those hip flexors. We use those a lot in Tai Chi. Okay, going down one side of the leg, or one leg on the front side with both hands. So I like to use fists here on that thigh just to work that meat. Wake up those thighs, those quadricep muscles, which we use a lot as well. And then going down to the lower leg past the knee, this is when I like to use open hands because there's not a whole lot of meat here, and it might hurt if you use fists down here on those shin bones. Make sure you get all the way through those toes and then back up the front of the leg. One hand on either side, so inner and outer thigh. Same thing, work your way all the way down and back up. And then finally on the back side of that leg, get that hamstring woken up. Get the chi through those meridians flowing. Get that blood flowing. Wake up those muscles. Other side. Both hands down the front of that leg. Down past the knee into your shin. All the way through the feet and back up. One hand on either side, inner and outer thigh. And finally on the back of that leg. Back up. And then shake out anything that you're feeling tension. We're going to continue this warm-up in a little bit by doing some movement and rotation. But before we do that, go back to your nice shoulder width stance. Make sure you have a slight bend in your knees. Shake that out again if you need to, and then we're going to inhale through our nose, reaching up. And then as we exhale, we're going to lightly draw those hands down past our face, down through our chest, down through our legs. And when you finish, have a nice forceful exhale out. Do that a couple more times. Inhale, reaching up. Get on your tiptoes if you want to. And then exhale, bring those fingertips down through your face, chest, legs, and forcefully exhale out. Time. Yeah. Okay, so now that we have that blood flowing a little bit more, your muscles are a little bit more awake, we're going to focus on continuing to warm up those muscles and the joints by doing some rotations. Starting with your head, we're going to rotate that head in gentle, slow circles. I'm going to do this about 3 to 5 times in one direction. And then when you're ready, switch directions, go the other way. Good. Now going into the shoulders. Here I like to keep my hands on my shoulders as we rotate them back or forward, whichever direction you want to. And do that about 3 to 5 times. And then switch directions. Go the other way when you're ready. And then from here, I like to do that same thing again, but now extending the arms straight. So again, 3 to 5 nice big circles in one direction. 3 to 5 big circles in the other direction. As you do this, take a moment to feel that chest open up. Ooh. And hopefully you're getting a little bit more air and oxygen in there that way when you breathe. Moving down the arms into the elbows. You cannot put your elbows into full circles, so what I just like to do is go back and forth a few times. You can do them together or separately, whatever you feel like. Okay, going into the wrists here. Just loose fists, rotating your wrists 3 to 5 times in one direction, and then 3 to 5 times in the other direction. And then my hands, what I like to do is keep those hands nice and open, closed, open, and close, really stretching out those fingers as you open them, and then clenching them into tight fists. You can do it together or alternate, one hand open, one hand closed. Do that a few times and then give those fingers a wiggle. Shake out those arms. Going into our rib cage now, we're going to try to isolate the movement in just the ribs as much as possible. So what I like to do is keep my hands either at my sides or on my hips here. First, we'll just go through those basic motions. So moving just your rib cage forward, to the side, to the back, to the other side, and then bring that movement into fluid circles. Again, going through this about 3 to 5 times. And then switching directions, going the other way when you're ready. Okay, moving that movement down into your hips now. Same thing, trying to isolate the movement just in your hips. So here I like to keep my hands on my hips. We'll start by moving those hips forward, to the side, to the back, to the other side, and then bring that movement into fluid, gentle circles. Switching directions when you're ready. Getting through about 3 to 5 circles here. And coming back to center there. Going into the knees. You can do this a couple ways. You can do it separately, or you can do the knees together. I like to put my hands on my knees here, just for stability and balance. And here just do gentle circles, not too big. Three to 5 times in one direction and then the other. And then standing back up straight. Finally going into the ankles, you have one option or two options here. Option is you can leave those toes on the ground and then just rotate in one direction 3 to 5 times and rotate the other way. Or you can do this with that foot completely off the ground, which I'll demonstrate on the other side. So lifting that foot a little off the ground. This is a great opportunity to start practicing and building your awareness of your balance, which we will do quite a bit in our Tai Chi series as well. And then then we can shake out those legs again, shake out the arms if you need to, and then we'll continue this warm-up here, adding a little bit more fluid movement and extend that range of motion and flexibility. So now we're going to go into a little bit more movement to increase that flexibility and range of motion. We're going to start by just doing some reaches from side to side. So reaching over one way, make sure you get that other leg out. And as you start to feel your body and your muscles warm up a little more, see if you can extend that range of motion just to reach a little bit further, or to get that lunge a little bit deeper. And then see here if you can just get a small, slight pause in that reach and that stretch. Just taking a moment to feel that stretch all the way down through the arm, through the ribs, even down through that hip flexor and part of the side of your leg. And then we're going to keep going with that motion, bringing those arms around into big circles here. Okay, and one more, coming back to center with your feet at about shoulder width again. Using your waist to sort of guide and direct your direction here. We're going to rotate from side to side using the waist, and just letting those arms and the shoulders kind of swing naturally wherever your waist is guiding you. Just a gentle way to warm up that spine. Once you're feeling a little bit looser and warmer here, you can experiment with making that torque or the intensity of your twisting a little bit faster or slower. Feeling how those arms swing around in this as they kind of hit you or knock onto your body. This is kind of like you're tapping. It's a way to just tell your body to gently wake up, as if someone is knocking on the door of your ribs. And then we'll slowly slow that back down, coming back to center here. Okay, now getting some motion into our legs here, which we use quite a lot in our Tai Chi. We'll start with just bringing those knees up like a gentle march. This is a good time to just start practicing some more body awareness. So what are your legs feeling like? What muscles do you feel engaged as you're doing this? Once you get a little warmer, see if you can get those knees up a little bit higher. And I like to try to practice by getting those knees to the elbow. And for me, I like doing this with the opposite elbow just to get a little twist and warm up my core muscles a little bit more too. And finally, we'll straighten those legs, going into straight leg kicks. These are gentle, controlled kicks, so we're not like flinging our feet or legs out in front of us as high as we can. We're doing this with controlled muscle stability and balance. As you get a little warmer, see if you can get your hands to reach out and touch your toes, or your shins or your ankles, just depending on your own flexibility and balance. And finally, we'll shake out those legs again. For me, I can feel that muscle engagement right around this area. So those hip flexors and those quads. I like to take a moment and kind of beat out that tension again here. Before we go through the final phase of this warm-up, our breathing exercises. Okay, now that our body is a little bit more warmed up and those meridians are a little bit more warmed up and the blood is flowing through, Now we're going to bring that attention onto our breath and do some basic Qi Gong breathing exercises. So the word Qi in Chinese can be translated to several things. It can be air, oxygen. It also means like your life force energy, so this energy that is flowing through the body here. So in Qi Gong exercises, what we're doing is doing some breathing exercises and movements to get that Qi flowing through the body. So we're going to start by coming into our shoulder width stance again, making sure your knees are slightly bent. And what I like to do first, just to build that awareness and proper breathing technique, is place one hand on your belly, lower abdomen below your belly button, one hand on your chest, and just start by taking some normal breaths here through the nose. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. And then try to draw that attention down to your lower abdomen, so that hand on the lower part of your belly, and see if you can feel that diaphragm expand with air as you inhale through the nose, and contract as it squeezes that air out of the diaphragm out through the nose. So imagine that your lower belly or diaphragm is like a balloon that's expanding and contracting with air. Meanwhile, the hand on your chest here should have relatively little movement. So in Tai Chi, we like to do these deep belly breaths, or the diaphragmic breathing. So this hand on the chest is just as a reminder, if you feel your chest moving in and out or up and down, try to gently draw that breathing down into that lower hand. When you feel ready, we're going to maintain that awareness and focus on our breath. Bring the hands to the sides and add some movement to our breathing now. On your next inhale, we're going to squat down a little bit, cross our hands below. Inhale, straightening the legs, reaching up over our head. You can either look forward or look up, whichever feels more comfortable. And then exhale, release those arms, bringing them back down to our sides. Again, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, releasing those arms down. Inhale. This time, once we reach the top, we're going to hold our breath, hold those arms, making sure your neck and your shoulders are still relaxed and dropped. And exhale, come back down, a couple more times. Inhale, up and hold. Exhale, release. Inhale, reach up and hold. Exhale, release. This time, as you inhale, we're going to bring our arms up in front of us to about shoulder height. Here, making sure that your elbows are below your wrists. Your elbows are still slightly bent. So from the side angle, it looks like this position. And then on your next exhale, we're going to press those palms down and put a little bit of a deeper bend into our knees. Palms come down to about waist height. Inhale. Straighten those legs a little bit. Still keep the slight bend in your knees. Arms come back up to shoulders. Exhale. Pressing down. Inhale. Up. Exhale down, reminding yourself that the air comes in and out of the belly. Inhale up, exhale down. One more time. Inhale and exhale through the nose. Keeping these knees bent in that lower position if you can, or raising them up if you need to, but making sure you always have a slight bend in your knees. We're going to bring our arms back up to about shoulder or chest height, this time rounding them as if you're hugging a tree here. Just stay here for a moment and breathe. And draw that awareness down through your legs, down into your feet, making sure that each foot is solidly planted firmly into the ground. Each foot, each leg is carrying 50% weight. And imagine as you hug this tree that your feet are starting to grow these tiny roots out of the heels, out of the arches, out of the toes of your feet, and they're just growing into the ground, really rooting you, connecting to the ground, connecting to the energy of the earth. And then on your next inhale, we're going to open those arms and the chest. Exhale. Bring those arms back closed. Inhale, open the arms and the chest and hold. Exhale, closing those arms. Inhale, breathing in that positive energy and that fresh air. Exhale, closed. Inhale, again, breathing in that positive energy. Exhale, breathing out any tension or negative energy you might be feeling. A couple more times. Inhale, open up. Exhale, close. One more. Inhale, open up. Exhale, closed. On your next inhale, bring those palms facing downwards again. Exhale. Slowly straighten those legs and slowly bring the arms down to your sides. And we'll conclude this by bringing that left foot back into center. Hopefully you feel a little bit more grounded, relaxed, and focused as we go into our Tai Chi practice here. We'll see you on the other videos.